Hello and welcome to 52 Ways to Wave a Magic Wand Over Your Social Media Pages. I'm Amy Downs, and for those of you who are watching me on Twitter and on YouTube, I am the content planning wizard. I've been a social media manager for about 4 years now, and I've sort of honed my craft and have come up with a way to help fellow mums in business wave a magic wand over their social media pages, and that is by sharing a simple, easy tip to follow every week that will help you transform your pages so that all that effort you're putting into posting on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter can actually result in leads for you. And my mission is to make it easier for you to plan that content, because I think we all feel a little bit daunted about planning our content for the rest of the month, the rest of the week, even the rest of the year, which I have actually done to an extent. I haven't worked out every single post, but I have got a rough plan. And I talked about that 2 weeks ago on the first of these videos, which was about how to fit social media into your business planning for 2021, because it is essential that when you are thinking about what you want to achieve in your business, what campaigns you're running, and so on, you consider how social media can not only be a part of that, but help it. Bearing social media in mind from the start can help you achieve those goals, so you can work out how social media can support your campaigns, sell your products, and so on and so forth, and connect you with lots and lots of people. So do check out the first video in this series about planning 2021 and fitting social media in. I talk a lot about my content planning spellbook, which is a free resource that I have, the spreadsheet, which really helps with my planning. I've sort of honed it, as I say, over the years as a freelance manager. I've added things, I've taken them away, I've made it easier to use, and it helped me with my clients. But today, more importantly, I will move on to our second task, which is ideal clients. Over on my channels, over on Facebook, on Instagram, Twitter, I've been talking about ideal clients and why it is important for you to have your ideal client in mind when you are creating your content. I've got a bit of hair sticking out here because my hair is all frizzy today, which is not ideal on a day you want to be recording videos. But anyway, I spoke about ideal clients and why it is so important to nail that down before you create your content. You need to be creating content that people are going to resonate with, that people want to engage with. And the way you do that is by getting to know your ideal client. It can feel like you are alienating some of your audience, but trust me, you won't be. If we're focusing on getting to know you, getting to know them, you won't alienate anyone. So for example, my ideal client would be a working mum, and by working with working mums, I'm not alienating women who aren't mums or men at all. I still have inquiries from all kinds of different people, because I'm still putting it out there what I am good at, but I am focusing on the things that the people that I want to work with. I find that working mums have wonderful stories, they have a lot of passion, and they relate to me, so they like to work with me. So that's why they are my ideal clients. With that in mind, I wanted to share you a major win from last year for me, because from last week for me, because I thought it might give you a bit more of a boost on hopping on board with this ideal client mind. If you're having trouble with only pitching to one type of person, if you're worried that you're going to miss out a whole massive audience by focusing in on one ideal client, here is something I wanted to share with you. I did a massive business plan last year, and I really worked out who my ideal client was, what her problems are, the things she's thinking about, the things that I can help with. I got it all straight in my head. And towards the end of the year, it's actually when I was doing my business planning for 2021, I had this idea that I would write down a list of actual clients that I want to work with. So they are my ideal clients, and I wrote down goal clients. So first of all, that's right, I wrote down dream clients at first. I wrote a list of people who I'd met, who I knew of, who were part of my Facebook group, who I wanted to connect with, and essentially get them booked on for a power hour or my gold service, which is where I do everything for them. And I had these dream clients, but then I decided that actually it's a bit of that whole manifestation, isn't it? It's that phrase, a plan is a dream with a goal. No, that's completely wrong, isn't it? A dream is a goal with a plan. A goal is a dream with a plan. There we go. So they were my dream clients, but I wanted to make it actually happen rather than just thinking, oh, it would be really nice to work with so and so one day. Right, I am setting it in my mission to work with these ideal clients. So actually taking that theory of who your ideal client is one step further by identifying them and finding them online. So I changed it from dream clients to goal clients. They are my 2021 goal clients, and I've got a few on there. I've got like a whole, it isn't this notebook, annoyingly, the notebook it's in is downstairs. There's like a whole page of one on each line, the different clients that I want to work with. Some are local here where I live in Pudsey. Some are people that I've been following online for ages and I know I'd like to help. Others are people who I've met on networking who I'd really like to work with. And over the last 2 weeks, I am so excited to say that I have worked already with 3 of them. In fact, we can make that 4 now because I just had a power hour yesterday with another one. So that's really, really, really exciting. 4 of my goal clients have signed up for my services, and one of them, who has been my goal client for about 2 years, actually signed up for my gold service with a new product of hers, which is really, really exciting and just goes to show that actually honing in on what you want to do to help your ideal client really helps, because she's known for a while that I'm a social media manager, but she hasn't known exactly what I do. And by focusing on getting that message across to her, how I can help her, she has signed me up to do her social media. So it's, I feel like I'm talking all about me, and I didn't want to make it about that. I wanted to make it about you guys. But the reason I wanted to share that story was this idea of, hi, Becky and Joe, if you're still on, thank you for joining me. I wanted to share with you that idea of the goal clients and the ideal clients. So if you are watching, let me know if you've got an idea of your ideal client in your head. If you feel like you want some help, do check out my video from last week, which talks about it. And oh, yeah, it is last week, wasn't it? And which talks about it. Do check that out because it will give you a bit of a hand on sort of honing that in, like I have, and hopefully it'll help your content. And as I found on one of the power hours that I had with Danielle from Danique Keepsake, sorry, I keep fiddling with my hair because it's gone over the place. I might have to tear it up, tie it up. So Danny and I spoke about her ideal client, and what I said to her is, when you write down all these things that your ideal client is thinking about, just different elements of their personality, you can then use them to brainstorm content. So Danny went away and came up with loads of ideas for posts. So it's another sort of like string to your bow when you're making posts. So that's really exciting, really cool. That is ideal clients, and I covered that in my video last week, so I really hope you'll check that out. So I've told you about my wins. I just wanted to share some wins from my group over on Facebook. So the Content Planning Wizards is a group to help mums in business with their social media. I've been wanting to set up a group for a long time, but I wanted to make sure it was something that was really going to help people rather than just be something else. My hair is really irritating me and I can't find my hairband. No, it is. I wanted to make sure that it was something that was really going to help mums rather than just be yet another thing that they've got to engage on social media. I wanted them to get something out of it, and I'm really glad because it is a small community, but it is a really engaged community, and we're all so supportive of each other on there and getting ideas, and I'm really, really proud to say getting confidence. So a little shout out to the members of my group who will maybe on this live, but who this live is going in my group, as well as my YouTube and my Twitter. A big shout out to Liat, who got a new client for her photo book subscription. I'm so excited about this because Liat and I have been chatting since about September, and I've seen her with all her ideas for her subscription and how much she really, really wants this to work, but how nervous she's been about social media and creating content for it, and she is doing such a great job. We've done some work together to get the ball rolling with her content planning, and I really think I'm seeing the difference. Liat, you're getting some great engagement, so I'm really, really excited for you. Jan is another one who's had a power hour. Thank you very much, Jan. Lovely to see your feedback of your win last week, which I'm really proud of. Jan says, mine is really just being more organized with my posting. I bought myself a project book and and using Planoly, which was is something I use as well. That's an app for Instagram, which I use as well, so that's fantastic. Jan has also started using Otter, so this is probably my favorite tip because it's so simple, but it's something not a lot of people know about, but it absolutely is a game changer when it comes to content planning. There is an app called Otter, and you can talk into it and it transcribes what you're saying. So if you're out and about dropping the kids off at school, or taking a dog for a walk, or going up to the shops, and you get hit with that moment of inspiration but you haven't got a pen and paper on you, you can record it on your phone, and then what I tend to do is then email it to myself so I can sort of put it on my to-do list to create posts from it at a later date. So Jan, it is really lovely to hear, and I can see the evidence of it on your pages that you are feeling much more confident with your content planning now, and you are doing a fantastic job of it. I'm really pleased. She's had some wonderful posts over on her Instagram and her Facebook with some really nice reactions. Hannah, I'm really enjoying getting to know Hannah Hagen. She's been getting some great engagement on her Facebook page. Previous to Christmas, she had 37. That's increased now, and the videos of the girls seem to do the trick. Absolutely, what an amazing hint. I actually sold a power hour on Black Friday thanks to a reel that I did of my two boys celebrating me making a couple of sales. There was Harry and James doing these really cute waving their arms, and the client actually said to me, I bought that because of your reel, because your boys are so cute. So it goes to show, if you're not ashamed like me to use your kids to sell, then go for it, because they are gorgeous and everybody wants to see them, especially if your ideal client like me is a fellow mum. Sue Pearson has had a sample request. She's had 3 awesome trainings on Zoom so far, and managed to sort a new DMO out, the daily method of operation list. That's a great tip from Danny Pearson. That's wonderful, Sue. Really happy to see you keep going with it. You keep going with your content. And Zoe did a live video. Zoe is another one of my Power Hour buddies, and she has been a bit nervous about going live, which is a shame, because when she talks about her product, she's great. She's very, very knowledgeable, and I know that that will come across in her live. I need to check it out, but I'm really, really proud of you, Zoe. I know that you've told Sue that your heart was racing, but you still did it, and that's great. Once you've done one and you keep going, you'll start to feel so much better about it, and then you'll just be like me and waffle, and probably people turn off because you're talking rubbish. Lucy got more likes, which is wonderful. I think you're just keeping going with your consistency, Lucy. That's exactly what it is. Chantel launched her Overwhelm Masterclass, which I went on last night. That's fantastic, Chantel. I really, really enjoyed your masterclass, and hope that your step on from that, your next one up, goes well for you, and you are you do a great job with your social media. And finally, Jen, oh, actually there's 2 more. Oh, I've got 3 more here. Wow, lots of wins on my Content Planning Wizards Facebook group last week. Jen signed a one-to-one client. Jen has been working really hard on her social media since September, October time. She's had lots and lots of people join up to her group. She's got 800 members in her group already, which is fantastic. It's a fitness group, and my favorite one, I think, because it's there's no pressure. It's just ideas and confidence and a bit of inspiration, rather than making you feel like you've got to do it. Anyway, I'm not advertising Jen, but I'm really proud of Jen, because that's fantastic. She's been working towards that since leaving her corporate job. Rebecca Cooper, who has a fab group as well, is now getting some incredible interaction on her posts, because she has, through I don't want to say trial and error, because I don't think you've made any errors, but just by getting to know her group, she's getting to know what content works on there. And then finally, Renata has plucked up the courage and appeared on her first video. That's fantastic. So I just, having celebrated my win of signing up my gold client, I wanted to celebrate some of your wins too, because you are all fantastic. And if you'd like to join the group, the Facebook group, if you think that you could do some help with your social media, give me a shout and I will send you the link. Drop a comment below or send me a message. Just quickly check in. Joe. So Joe Jenkins asked, did you name your children after Harry Potter and his dad? If so, we need to chat. Joe, yes, I did. When I met my other half, that was one of the things we bonded over, was Harry Potter. And then when I fell pregnant, it's always been my dream to call my eldest child Harry Matthew, after Potter, and Matthew is my favourite footballer. And I looked at Luke and I really didn't expect it, but he said, yes, you can. And then Luke named my eldest, and he chose James. So yeah, they are both Harry Potter names, and our wedding is the 31st of July, and there's going to be some Harry Potter things in that as well. So if that excites you, we're going to have a chat, aren't we? I can tell you all about my Harry Potter wedding, my Harry Potter life. I don't know if you can see it if I turn my camera. Oh, no, you can't, because the towel's in the way. There's a few Harry Potter bits snuck in around around my house. So let me know if you've had any wins with your social media. Tell me in the comments. I'd love to hear how you came about them as well. Joe's well pleased with that. There you are. You see, Joe, we've got so much in common. I love it. You and I are definitely destined to be collaboration buddies. I think Joe and I have been talking about doing an Instagram week on my Content Planning Wizards group. So if anybody likes the sound of that, let me know. We could have a week covering different topics, and Joe, I need your help with reels. So we will have a look at that. So the next thing that I wanted to talk about was speaking of collaborations, I've had some really great lives in my group recently, and last week was Kate Tyson talking about brands and creating your brand story, and I loved it. I absolutely loved hearing her talk. She's really passionate, and some of the things that she said really resonate. Excuse me while I check my notes, but I just wanted to share them with you, and if you're on the group, make sure that you go and check them out, that live out. She went live on Thursday morning. I'll tag it in announcements so that you can find it easily at the top of the page, but well worth watching that video to have a think about your content for 2021 and how you're getting your brand across. So Kate said, you have a story and therefore you have a brand. So no matter what your business is, you have a story. How you got there, where you came up with the idea, the obstacles that you've overcome, the positive side, the thing that you want to achieve. It doesn't have to be, woe is me, life was awful and then I started a business. It can be positive, and that all becomes part of your brand. That story becomes part of your brand, and that is what you're selling to people, because people buy from people. And you want to be sharing your brand to make them know, like, and trust you. You've heard it all before, I am sure. About 15 minutes into the talk, she had some brilliant tips, which I have written a note to myself to write down and I forgot, but if you would like to watch the video, I'm sure Kate will explain them far better than I have. Kate talked about sharing personal stuff to create your brand. One of the biggest obstacles I have as a social media manager is when I first start working with a client, trying to tease that personal information out of them. Sometimes it can just be a passing remark, a passing joke that then leads to a post idea, and it'll be a comment about them and their kids, or about their house, as one of my recent ones was. And it's just trying to think of those sides of your life that people will find relevant, that you can share. So I've been doing like a monthly update about my son, because he was diagnosed with autism last year, and that really resonates. Although it's not actually social media related, it really resonates with the audience, and I get a really good response from that. So that's nice to know, like, to get to know my followers in that way, those who've connected and relate to that. It really helps. So having a think about what's part of your personality you can share to help connect with other people. If you have a look on my content planning spell book, those of you who downloaded it, if you would like a copy, drop a note in the comments and I shall send you one. There is a tab for post ideas. Now what I do is, on the spreadsheet, I do different columns. Half is just stripped down to his boxers in front of me because he's getting ready. Oh, not even the boxers. He's getting ready to go and get my eldest, which means I need to finish this live fairly promptly. You can bring James up here actually if you want. So he's completely distracted me with that. Let's leave that for the weekend, dear. So yeah, talking about personal brand, I always put in each different column different topics that I can cover with my posts on social media, and I tend to sort of allocate them to different days. That's just how I like to do it. And one of them is about me. So anytime I think of something that I'd like to share about myself, so this week I've been sharing, it's the 5-year anniversary of my redundancy, so I'm talking about that because that's sort of the beginning of my story. Talking about Harry, like I say, talking about postnatal depression, things like that. Flexible working is something I'm really passionate about. So anytime I have any ideas that relate to that personal side of me. My football, I'll not very often, but occasionally I'll talk about being a football fan and being on podcasts for them and stuff like that. So definitely listen to Kate's live about getting those personal sides, because it's not just like your hobbies, it's your personality, and it's getting your brand story down to a few words. Lisa Kershaw, the brand photographer, gets you to pick 5 brand words, and I think mine were honesty, time saving. I'm trying to think what the others were. Family was definitely one. And maybe confidence, because I want to build other people's confidence. So having those brand words, it then makes you think about your content needs to be highlighting those. So anyway, Kate was a great live. Really enjoyed that. And she has a fab PR company called Snowball Communications. So she's, we're learning from one of the best there. So I was very proud to have her on the group. Coming up, I've got the amazing Colette Broomhead. That's the first week of February. It's on the first Thursday of February. We're just confirming the time, but I think it's going to be 10 a.m. Obviously, I'll pin it to the group so that you can watch it later on if you're busy homeschooling or anything like that. And Colette is going to talk about having confidence and feeling less self-conscious when you're doing lives and when you're putting yourself out there on social media, which I know is really relevant to a lot of people in my group who have said that that's one of their main content planning barriers, is being nervous about what people are going to say. And along those lines, so Colette Broomfield is from the Fully Booked Mums Facebook group, which if you're a mum in business, I would highly recommend. Really enjoy that group. Really helpful, useful business tips, and also great for collaborations as well. And then I'm going to have the lovely Nicole Greenfield Smith, who's going to come on in a similar topic but slightly different: imposter syndrome. So how to overcome that. I think as women in business, that's something that a lot of us recommend all the time. So if either of those talks sound good to you, do let me know. But I'm really excited because they are some fantastic speakers, and I'm really keen to make sure that my Facebook group is giving my members value. So that's one of the ways I'm doing that, is through the guest speakers. So I hope that you will enjoy that. Now, finally, I'm going to have to whiz through this last one because Luke's about to go and pick Harry up. So I'm going to have to go down and look after the baby. But the final part of today's talk, I just wanted to mention my Ask Amy Anything. So over on my Facebook group every Thursday, I put a post up, Ask Amy Anything. So whatever is bugging you about social media, there's the chance to just ask. Sometimes all you need is just a quick tip, a quick hand, like my Otter app tip. Somebody else might be able to help you, me. Sometimes it's something that be really bugging you about social media, and I can just get rid of that problem, get rid of that barrier, so you can get on with planning your content and feeling better about social media. I don't want you to be sat for days worrying about this thing that is stopping you from posting, because we can get over it. So if you're on the group, or if you'd like to be on the group, come and post on my post tomorrow morning. Ask Amy anything that's worrying you about your social media. So last week, Janine was asking about the glitches on Facebook. Bring them up. Thank you. About the glitches on Facebook. So it is a massive site. Facebook, I'm going to let you into a not very good secret, because I tell everyone it winds me up. Facebook is my least favorite platform, which is frustrating because it's also where my ideal client is. So I know that I need to be good at it, and I know I need to be using it regularly. I find it, exactly like Janine says, I find it glitchy, I find it hard to grow followers, and I just find it a bit hard to use in general. I think it can be quite distracting with how many people are on there. Conversations far too easily turn into arguments, and that's my reason for not liking Facebook. But as Janine says, so the topic that we wanted to cover just now, you say hello. Who's there? It's Mummy and Baby Jones, isn't it? You say hello. What? Hello. Yeah, so we have why Facebook has so many glitches, and in all honesty, it is unfortunately just the way Facebook is. You'll turn it on and there'll be something random, like you can't schedule your posts as it was last week, or well, you could schedule them but your scheduled posts weren't going out. Or I had a bit with a week with my client where she couldn't create slideshows, and that was like the whole of our content was slideshows so that we could show up her pictures. She's a photographer. And then there was like lives not working and not pinning to the groups and things like that. It happens all the time. The only advice I have got is just to dust yourself off and ignore it. It is not that big a deal. If you miss one post, it doesn't matter. Just carry on as if it hadn't happened. Try not to let it panic you. Like last week when none of the posts were going out that had been scheduled, I know how hard that was for everybody, because you had to look back and work out what it was you'd scheduled, and you had to then you had to remember to post it and take the time out of your day to then repost it. And interestingly, I was on Michelle Mills' podcast, which is She Talks Biz, and she asked me, is it worth scheduling when there's a risk of it being dated, having to change the message because of something happening, or it just not working as it was last week. So my advice for that is just try not to overthink it. Content planning can save you so much time in general. You'll get the odd hitch like that, but not many, really, really not many. So it's, for the amount of time it will save you, it is worth it. And in terms of glitches on Facebook, it is unfortunately just something we have to bear, because it is a really valuable platform for building your audience. If your audience is mostly on Instagram, then forget Facebook. Don't worry about it so much. If your audience is mostly on Twitter, then forget Facebook. Don't worry about it as much. But I imagine if you're watching this and you're a member of my group, Facebook is probably one of your main pages, your main platforms. So it's worth it for what you will get out of it. So Mr. Smiley is going to need my attention now. So I shall leave that there. I hope that has helped. I've whizzed through the ideal client topic, which was from last week, because I'm now talking about, over on my channels, I am talking about number one product. So I'm going to be doing a post later today, and then a few more posts around it on my channels, choosing and promoting your number one product, and how it can be really difficult to choose one when you've got loads of ideas and loads of things that you know you can offer people, but how it is so worth it. So do stick around for that. Do pop back for, I'm going to do another live on Friday where I'll come back and answer the Ask Amy Anything posts again. And if you have any questions about social media, come and pop them on the Ask Amy Anything, or drop them in the comments, whatever's easiest for you. I hope everybody is okay. And just one last final plug from me. If you would like any of this advice on a one-to-one basis, and you'd like to have a chat where we can sort out all your content for the next month. So we've got Valentine's Day coming up, and we've also got Mother's Day after that, which we'll be starting to promote. There's also International Week coming up, which is going to be a really big one. If you'd like a 60-minute call that will get posts for that all sorted, so that you can just take them away and schedule them. It's just opened the bedroom door, so I need to wrap it up. That's child. Yeah, so if you would like to book a one-to-one call, then let me know, because I have a link to book that easily, and I have availability next week, although they are getting booked up, which is very exciting. So let me know. Thank you for joining me. Sorry it's been such a quick one this week. I'll try and be on for a bit longer and a bit less rushed on Friday. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of the week. Thank you for watching Mummy's video.
No.
What about thank you for watching Harry video?
No, I can only... I got my wand so I can spell my magic.
Good idea, Harry. Can you say thank you for watching?